Hey everybody, it's Michelle LaVore and
Devin LaVore
coming at you. And we're so glad that you're here, and we just pray that you guys are blessed by what the Lord has to share today. And we are going to be covering Act 1, Scene 51. And
go ahead and read your Genesis 15:1.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And
your reward shall be great.
And before we begin that, though, we want to give a huge thank you, as always, to everyone who continues to give to us. We really could not do this without the support that that you guys have been sending, and so huge thank you. We just receive it as a gift from the hand of the Lord, and we are support-based, so if you would like to give to us, you can. We have a PayPal link below, and you can just click that. Did you have, you seem like you might be bubbling over.
It's hard to put the Thanksgiving into words.
It is.
And it's super difficult. And it really does. You know, every time we get a gift, it's a seed sowing into humility. You know what I mean? It's just a humble adoration for the Lord, and just like, wow, you really are our sustainer.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's difficult because you want to say something, you want to do something, you want to just say, this is what I feel, and you just can't. Can't. And so thanks.
Yes. So yeah, it's true, it's hard to say thank you, but again, thank you all. And
how can you contain the sun's heat? You know, you can't. You just let it go.
Yeah. But, yeah, so we are talking about Act 1, Scene 51, and just kind of what this week has been about. I know we did a video in kind of mid-late to last week, but that was just honestly about only one particular area that the Lord was highlighting for us at that time. And I think the best way to describe this week, because as we were going through it, it was like, okay, what has the Lord been saying overall throughout this whole week? And I'm just like, I don't feel like there's any one particular thing, because a lot of times for us, the Lord is really highlighting one particular thing or a couple of things, and it's really easy to just see like, wow, this is what this week was about, and it's so clear. But this week, I feel like it is more along the lines of something like a sampler platter, or the Lord was just kind of giving me this idea of just kind of how, like, when you're preparing like a Thanksgiving feast or some sort of big food kind of event, you know, where you have, as you're preparing, you're going to spend time like, okay, I got to get the casserole together. So you spend that time working on the casserole, and then you have, okay, I got to get the turkey ready, and now I have to, you know, we're getting the salad and the bread. But there comes this moment where, you know, things have been in the oven. It's like things are coming out, and it's just like, okay, you go take the casserole. And it's like, okay, put it on the table. Now go get this and put it on the table. And so you've got multiple things going on all at once. And I think that is the best way to describe how this week has been for us. It really has just been multiple things throughout this whole week, of just like, okay, the Lord's talking on this and he's speaking on that. And just kind of, you know, we started off last week, you know, we had birthday celebration. We had
double birthday.
Yeah, a double birthday, because the Lord was
meaning
like,
the same person we celebrated 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row, yeah. And so it was just like, okay, wow, that's amazing. But then the Lord continued to just share his heart on so many different areas of our own life. And he was speaking about just believing for the promises, but then also really solidifying things in our heart of like, okay, this, just pray with confidence, like even more confidence than you've ever had before, that this is what I have for you. And just like addressing those things. There's been some contention as far as like just for me continuing to grow in that area. Sure. And so when I say, just things pop up, as with life, things, or a text. Things
That
just
was perfect. I'm not editing that out at all.
things just pop up, and you just have to handle them. And it's like the Lord's like, hey, I'm here to help you grow through things and continuing this process of coming out of the Shire and going through those woods, and just like, okay, we're gonna take some of those trees down, and just all of that. And but then at the same time, the Lord has been speaking to us even nationally, some of his heart and just what he's doing with our nation. And so it really has been just this full week. And honestly, even coming into April, like from April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd, April 4th, it has been truly very interesting, because I feel like the Lord has taken those dates, like 4-1, and it was like representing the number 41, and 41 has to do with separation. And that day was so amazing, because God really, that was one of the days where God just was like, I am like separating out for yourself in your hearts, like, this is what I'm speaking to you, what I want for you. This is what I want you to pray for. No longer are we going, Lord, is this really what you want? Or what about this over here?
Maybe there's other options.
Maybe there's other things. And it was like, no, this is what I have for you. And so we really started praying into that, there's this idea of separation. And then on April 2nd, it was 42, which has a lot to do with arrival. And so, like, the Lord...
The arrival of the house.
Yeah, the arrival of the house. But that day in particular, the Lord was speaking to us about how he's like, I'm with you. And I'm going to be with you. And it was just like almost like the arrival of the Lord on your behalf. And then even on the 3rd, it was 4-3, so that's a 43, and that's about contention. But
tell them what you said the day before.
I told her, I was like, actually, I think it was a couple of, it was either day before.
No, it was the day before.
Yeah, it was the day before. I was like, like, great, we might be going into a time of contention. I was like,
no.
I know, I said.
No, you didn't say might be. You declared it.
I was like, it's going to be a day of
great.
It's going to be a day of contention.
I was like, don't say that. No. Get back. And it was.
Yeah.
All day.
All day.
All day.
Just,
all day.
With, again, the Lord just really bringing things out, working through things. And a lot of it is just like, even this week too, there's been a lot of the Lord continuing to bring things out. We talked about just last week how the Lord was talking about bring everything out, all of this stuff. And so again, this week, he's just like, hey, we're bringing more out.
That kind of represents the whole bringing the things to the banqueting table. Here, come on, bring this out, bring this out, bring this out. Things that we haven't thought about in forever. He's like, oh yeah, let's bring that out. Let's start that up again. Let's get going with that. And let's go. I'm like, what are you doing, Lord? We did this before last year, and the Lord's like, don't look back. You're not going that way. You know what I mean? Don't look back. Don't look around. I think that was on April 2nd as well. He's like, don't look back and don't look around. Just look to me. Look at me.
Yeah.
It's kind of
and so,
the Lord's way. He says, look at me.
Yeah, and so it was just like the Lord was just really speaking a lot to just bringing things out, but then also bringing things out. Like let's
like
get
bringing things
things out of your heart. Like again, like
that was April 3rd.
Yeah, and it wasn't just for me. There was just even with our family, just as a whole. Like, hey, let's bring some of this stuff out that needs to come out, and how handling things, because the Lord is always concerned with our hearts. He's always concerned with the relationship, and he's just like, how are you handling just what comes at you in life? And it's like, okay, well, the way that this is being handled, let's not handle it that way. Let's go a different way, And honestly, even yesterday, which was 4-4, and that was the 44, and it having to do with the chosen. And it was so crazy because,
Unbelievable.
The Chosen, which is a
TV show.
It literally episode or season 2 aired last night, and we actually got to watch it on YouTube.
Episode 1, Season 2, Episode 1.
And it was just like, oh Lord, that is so funny. Like today, and it really was the whole day. The Lord was really speaking about choices and just giving these just so many
prophesying,
pictures.
Saying, "I choose you.
Yeah.
Do you choose me?"
Yeah.
I mean, it was just really cool stuff.
And so I'm just like, okay,
I was
well,
like, wow,
Lord,
you can't make this up.
This
We're
is
not
like
trying to make this happen. This
no,
is
it's
happening.
like, Lord, this is like, what are you doing? Like, there's so much going on, like, and it feels like this.
We can't possibly put this all on our plate and eat it. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, it's like
that's my point.
And so it's just like, here he is, just like, literally, just it's like, here, take that. Here, take this. Here, let's go. And so the Lord's just been like, just pouring out so much, and and so really that in and of itself has been like the week. There's been just so much going on. But as we were, just kind of thinking about like and praying about like, Lord, what do you have? There's one particular thing that the Lord shared with us, and that's really what we're gonna just share with you guys as far as from this week. One of the things that it just every time, even when we first got it, it just like stood out to me. And when I was going back through with the journaling, it was just like it was highlighted again. And so that's really what I just wanted to share. And obviously you guys know us, I'm sure we'll just start talking. So but one of the big things that the Lord was sharing, it was actually a vision that Devin had, and I'm going to have him share that. It's a very small, quick vision, but
it is.
I think that it's very impactful. So.
Well, we've been listening to this song, Believe for It. It's been kind of like a little salt in our stew, you know what I mean? You might have to pull that up because you might want to read the notes. But and one of the lines in the song is, they haven't seen what you can do. And one time when we were listening to that song, sometime this week, I don't remember when it was. You do. When was it?
Wednesday.
See? I don't remember that.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. And so the line came, they haven't seen what you can do. And I just saw this, I believe it was an angel. I don't know if it was an angel or it was the Lord. Maybe it was an angel of the Lord. I don't know. But the Lord, the Father, was sitting just on his throne, right? And the angel was like, they haven't seen what you can do, you know? And the angel was just kind of like astounded. You know, he was just like, they haven't seen what you can do. Like, they have no idea. Like, and that's really the gist of the vision. But then you want to read what came out of it?
Yeah, and so basically, it was, they haven't seen what you can do, and it was this sense of this generation.
Yeah. Everyone alive right now.
Yeah, haven't seen what you can do. The display of his sovereignty and majesty for his people. Well, I guess it was basically, it kind of goes into, you just heard, like, that is a display of his sovereignty and majesty for his people, to prove he has heard, he hasn't rejected, he hasn't neglected or cast aside his people's affliction. And then it was this sense of like, it's time for us, this generation, to rise. Right. And I just really loved it. I felt like it was such an encouragement, but also just like, in a sense, with the vision of just like, it's being acknowledged that the Lord's like, I know you haven't seen what I can do.
It's almost like the thing he might say to the nation of Israel just before he's getting ready to pull them out of Egypt. Yeah. It's like, we've been crying out for generations. My grandfather died crying out to you, and he didn't see anything. You know, I mean, you definitely showed yourself strong in his life, but that thing that he wanted to see happen, it never happened. Yeah. You know, that even in the visions that you gave him and talked to him about releasing us and all that stuff, and you know, maybe he forgot about the 400-year part, that you spoke to Abraham regarding, but when you're in it, you can forget it. When you're going through it, sometimes you can't see through it.
Yeah.
You can only just cry out to the Lord. And so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a sense of like, that he could say this to the nation of Israel, saying, hey, you're getting ready to see a display of my sovereignty and my majesty for you. And you'll know that I haven't rejected you and I haven't been ignoring your affliction. You know?
Yeah. And so, and so I just really love that, because it was like, he's going to show himself so that he can prove, like, I haven't forgotten. And I know for me personally, like, I think even this morning, with just, you can get hit, you know, the enemy's out there, but also just, like, your soul can get hit with just that.
Well, and sometimes they tag team like WWE wrestlers.
Yeah.
He's like, here, your turn.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, your turn. It's like,
Yeah.
here, your turn. Here, you, soul, you go. All right, now I'm going to jump in. All right, soul, you go. All right, now I'm going to jump in. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, you're getting smashed from both ends, you know?
Yeah. And so, like, even for me this morning, there was just this sense, like, with the Lord and what he was speaking, it was talking about waiting. And I'm just like, of course, that, like, it triggered my heart, like, almost immediately, of just like, great. Like, I know, Lord, we have been waiting a really long time. And it's like, and now you're speaking again with this idea of waiting. And so, of course, like, it can send you into this place of just like, great, like, what does that mean? Like, oh, we're gonna be here for forever waiting. Like, what's going on? And you know, and God, as I was just
it's like you're just gonna give titles to all the different periods of waiting.
Yeah.
Pregnancy process, waiting. Labor process, waiting. Delivery process,
waiting.
What's the next process? Who cares? It's gonna be waiting.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is, right?
Yeah. And so it was just
well,
like,
that's the vibe. That's the thing that comes across, right?
Yeah. And so it was just like, Lord, what are you doing? Like, please, like, just come. Like, that's what we want to see, your majesty and your splendor. And we want to, you know, there's so many people who are literally waiting to come out of these arcs, and you know, at the same time,
pounding on the doors, let us out.
Yeah.
And the Lord's like, you don't want to come out right now.
Yeah.
Trust me. Wait till the ground is completely dry.
Exactly. And so, again, it's that sense of waiting, of just like, okay, you're just going to have to keep waiting. And it can be really hard and really difficult. And it's just like, but Lord, like, when are things going to change, you know? And and so I would just kind of, I would consider it maybe puking all of my thoughts, and you know sometimes you just need to just get stuff out.
I was just holding the bucket.
Yep.
I was getting splashed on a little bit.
It was great.
I was like, okay, we have 4 kids and you've never puked, so you can let your soul puke every once in a while. I guess that's how it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm good. Don't try to fix the problem. Okay, fine. It's only taken me 12 and a half years to
figure
really
that
kind
out.
of step into that anointing.
No, but it was just like getting all that out, and then the Lord immediately reminded me of this phrase, they haven't seen what you can do. And it was just like, okay, we haven't seen what you can do, but I will wait to see what you can do.
Well, and what I was going to say was, like, in the wilderness, we've seen what he can do. We've seen the Lord. Look at this journey that we're on. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
This is a miracle. We're in a miracle, waiting for a miracle. For real. Okay? Yeah. The things that the Lord has enabled us to do, he's enabled us to not just survive in this journey, but to live. We can get our kids Legos. We can have a birthday for our son, and we can get our daughter books that she reads, like, 7 per minute. It's like her appetite for books is crazy, but that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have. It's not even a problem. I'm just saying, like, we've been able to live and just we've seen what the Lord can do, even beyond this journey, or before this journey. We've seen God move in our lives, and even but the videos that are pretty much pertaining to this journey, it's like we've seen God move and just do great things, but it's all been in a sustenance kind of way, a sustaining kind of way. You know, we haven't seen the overabundant, exceedingly abundant Ephesians 3:20 type thing that we're looking for, that he's promised. You know, like the big miraculous thing that we're all looking for, that we're all wanting to see, you know, some sort of national display of just, you know what I mean? Like the glory of God displayed. Boom! And there was a baby. Well, he's not really a baby. Boy gonna be 4 here in like
a
couple months. But he was having a hard time sleeping. So, but anyway, as I was saying, you know, we're all looking for that big thing, you know. And I mean, if can we just put all of our promises and stuff aside for a second, and let's just talk relationship with the Lord, just relationship with God. Hello, we're talking about the G to the O to the D, God. We're talking about him who created all things. Don't you want to see him do some godly stuff? Don't you want to see him do something amazing, I guess? You know? You know,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for to see what he was going to do. But, you know, you want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear about people being taken to heaven or Jesus visiting them and manifesting. Yes, that. I want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see that. Come on. But it's fine. You know, we've gone all this time just with the relationship with the Lord that we've had. And so in that, the enemy can use that sustaining thing against you to say, see, that's all that God ever does. That's how he works. That's how he does things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's all he ever. He just sustains you until you can't be expecting that exceedingly abundantly stuff. You can't be expecting some miraculous breakthrough that's going to really just propel you forward into the, you know what I mean? It's like the enemy comes and then your soul has a hard time not coming into agreement with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if you look back, you can just see like, now listen, the fact that we're in a miracle, waiting for a miracle, that kind of thing is really great. But it's like the way things work is like no matter how much manna we get, it always drains.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day you need more.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you're in that situation and the Lord has you in that situation, doesn't matter what people think, doesn't matter what people believe, whatever, God is your sustainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people can watch God sustain you and make videos, but the Lord has you in this place doing what you're doing. He's going to have to sustain that or not. And he does, but he sustains it through manna. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if all you've known is the manna life, then it's hard to imagine a life outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to imagine that, oh, you're going to go to the promised land, it's going to have milk and honey, and it's going to have this, and it's going to have that, and it's going to have this, and it's going to have that. Oh, that's amazing. And I'm going to show up and display my power. I'm going to destroy this nation, bring you out with signs and wonders. Hello, can you tell? I'm leading you to the promise. This is amazing. This is great. And then you get led into a wilderness where it's manna every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I thought you said... Anybody ever said that to the Lord? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But it's like you just, I thought you said ... you know, fill in the blank with what you thought was supposed to be happening. Well, why did you think that was supposed to be happening anyway? Well, because the Lord said so. Mm-hmm. He talked about milk and honey and all these things, and you can insert your personal vision. Mm-hmm. You know, okay, bring it off the shelf, bring it back in. You can insert that in there. It's like, but I thought you said this, and I thought you said... He did say it. Mm-hmm. If you know that you know that you know, with full naked humility before the Lord, like this is what the Lord said to me and I just know it's the Lord, that kind of assurance, but yet your life is still not reflecting that, well then what are you going to do? Well, you're going to cry out to the Lord and say, Lord, what's going on? What's happening, you know? And he's going to speak, and he's going to share, and he's going to encourage. Some of it you may like, some of it you may not. And in fact, that's a guarantee. You can just take the may out of it. You're going to like some of it, you're not going to like some of it. But it's all going to be encouraging, coming out of a heart of love and mercy and goodness toward us. And sometimes we can't see that. Sometimes we're blind, deaf, and dumb to it. And therefore it doesn't really affect our lives in a way that brings change to our hearts. But God is still faithful and determined to do so. And so it's constantly working. It's constantly going. The clouds might be covering up the sun, but it's still there shining, doing what it's doing, you know? And so the enemy can use that for our, you know how God says, I work all things for the good. Well, the enemy, he takes all things and tries to work it for your evil, you know, for evil for you. And so, you know, he that's why he tries to get you to look back or look around, because those are the very things that the Lord doesn't want you to do. He's like, just look up, look to me, look at, what am I saying? What am I speaking? What did I declare to you? What did I speak to you? What did I put on your heart? Believe for that. And that was one of the things that we were getting this week. Once we had that separation time and that arrival of the house, that next day, the arrival of the house, we were like, we're believing for this. There's no more looking for other houses or other lands or other things. It's like, nope, this is what the Lord has spoken to us. This is what we're going to be. We are rock solid, right? And that's kind of funny because my week started off with a song from the Lord from Ashford and Simpson called Solid as a Rock. Can anybody out there give me a high five? Boom. A little Solid as a Rock from Ashford and Simpson. I'm just like, now when the Lord gives you a secular song like that, you really have to extrapolate the heart of what he's saying. And it's like he's talking about, we've built up our love and it's still as hot as it's ever been, and it's solid as a rock. It's just like you really are built on the rock, and you're built on love, and it's just as passionate as it was from the day you got saved. Would you say that that's true?
Yes.
Even more so. And so the Lord's like, I can build on that. You know what I mean? There's so much I could say about that. All right, so we had to untoddler ourselves. But you know, when you were talking about what you went through this morning, and you know, you're puking all your soul and all that stuff, but that's real, you know. And I was just sitting there, I'm just going like, I get it. I totally get it, Lord. I just, you know, because today is like April 5th. You know, we've had a 41, 42, 43, 44, and I'm like, okay, now we're up to the 45. Like, what are you going to do on the 4-5? Are you going to do something that's just like, whoa, know the woe? Or is it just going to be just this normal, mundane day because we're not ready for the know the woe part yet? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, whatever. I'm serious. I was just like, I want to see something great, but it's like, you know what? I am going to see something great at the right time. And until then, I'm going to see what you're going to do right now, today. You know, give us this day our daily bread, you know? And we're in a good place. You know, it's like, it's amazing because on days like today when they're hard and you feel like completely empty, drained, yourself is dry ground. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like the Lord, the Holy Spirit, he will remind you of everything he said. And you begin referencing all those things that the Lord has done, all those teachings that he's imparted into you. He just harvests those from you and say, hey, remember, you're in a good place. I love you. I'm pleased with you. I've got you. I've got a great plan for you. My word will not fail. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord, he is the fountain within us that can begin bubbling up if we open ourselves up to it. Just start bubbling up. It doesn't matter whether you've got a fire hydrant hole or a little tiny sprinkler valve. If you just got an opening for the Lord, he will begin bubbling up in you and sharing. Like, hey, remember, I love you. Hey, remember this, remember that, remember the word. Look to me. See, when you look to the Lord, that's what's going to happen. And, you know, that's kind of like how I was feeling today. I'm just like, wow, I'm kind of feeling the stuff that she's saying, but I wouldn't be saying it. Anyway, I guess she needs to say it.
Well, that's what the Lord told me.
He's like, that's true. He said to talk. He said to get it out.
For
I'm
me,
just like,
that's
wow.
what I need to do, because he knows I already internalized. So it's
That's
like
true.
I need
Which
to
is
get
funny
it
because
out.
that's why he's having me hush up. Because I be just vocally processing everything. And he's just we are so in a reversing situation right now on so many levels we can't even get into. But yeah.
Yeah, well, and it's just like, I think, whether or not the Lord continues through this week to have the days matching kind of with what he's speaking, that's just the Lord. Like, if he's going to do that, he'll do that. And I think that's like also part of just the whole process when you're walking with the Lord, is you just have to continually let him unfold what he's doing and his plans. And it was actually it was so funny because I loved actually when we were watching The Chosen last night, where there was this scene in the episode where it's all the disciples, they're all there, and obviously The Chosen, it's like there's creative license. They're just trying to make it like what could have happened as far as life, how life might have looked like.
How could this have gone down on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
Because we're talking like 3.5 years of walking with the Lord in like 16 chapters of Mark's gospel. I'm like, come on now.
No, but
Lord, could you have given us a little more? No,
but I loved it because they made it so real to life, because they had this discussion, because it was like Jesus was always just doing what he did. He would just leave. They're like, where is Jesus? I don't know. I think we got to find him. He's supposed to be here. There's people who want to see him and stuff. But then they had this scene where the disciples are talking and they're just like, okay, you know what, guys? We've got this all figured out, planned out. This is, all right. We're going to put Jesus basically on a schedule. I'm like, this is how things are going to work.
It was John.
It was like, we're going to do this in the morning, and then, we'll stay here for 2-3 days, and then we'll just go. And I just thought it was so funny, because I'm like, oh, that's so something like I would do, because I'm just like, I love just being able to know. It's like, you just want to know, okay, something that you feel like, okay, I can grab a hold of this, and there's security in it a lot of times.
How?
Yeah, the when, how, the where,
much,
the why, all of it.
All of it.
It's like, oh, and we're going to get supplies from, okay,
this
that's
date,
how it's going to work.
Date, this is how long we're going to be here, this is how long we're going to be there,
But they're talking, and then they're like, and some of the other disciples are, yeah, but the master, he just does whatever he wants to do. It's like there is no scheduling of this thing or that thing. But that's exactly the place we're in. We're in this place where it's like you might think that the Lord is going in this one area, and then suddenly he's moving and going into a different place. And it's like, nope, okay, yeah, we were going this way, but now we're coming over here. All right, now we're going over here. And it's just like, it can be frustrating as far as just your heart and your soul and just following. But it's like, that's exactly what the Lord's doing. He's training his people to be able to follow him and to be able to just go with him wherever he goes.
And believe whatever he says. Yeah.
And so I just thought it was so funny, because yesterday I was just like, wow. And even today, like kind of coming to today, it's like, once again, just allow the Lord to unfold things. It's like, all right, he's in charge of the schedule, and that was something he spoke to us at the end of last year, of just how he's like, he's the driver of the bus. When he says things come on, that's when things come on the bus. Like just that picture of the Lord will bring into your life the things that he wants to have happen when they want to he wants them to have happen. So I think that's really what we have to share with you guys today. I know it's probably been kind of a bunch of different things.
Hey, well, welcome to Scene 51.
Yeah, Scene 51. It was all about a bunch of different things.
We're bringing all the stuff out onto the table. Hope you like it. Here you go. Oh, you don't like them yams? Here, try some mashed potatoes.
Yeah. But it truly has been just that kind of week for us, where the Lord's just been bringing out multiple things all over the place. And But I think overall, I just feel like it's like God is just saying, like, he knows, like, we haven't seen what he can do yet. He knows that the hearts of his people are weary from the wait, and like, but to just continue to believe for what God has spoken to your heart, believe for what he has said, and like he will bring it into our life. And you know what's interesting is, I know, like you were saying, like, well, maybe you're just not ready for it today. But I feel like really that it's not so much, you know, the Lord has been preparing and there is a readiness to it. But I feel like it's more of just like there is a specific time in which the Lord has determined. You know, it's kind of like the Israelites, where it's like there was 400 years. It didn't matter how ready you were to leave, you had to wait the 400 years. It's like it, you know, and so even with
now the
Noah,
question is like, well, what year are we in right now? How close are we to that 400?
You know, I mean, even with Noah, like, yes, he was waiting for the dry ground, you know, to be fully dried, but I think on his side of things, he was fully prepared and ready to come out of the ark, you know. And so I feel like
a weekend.
Yeah,
he was about a week into it, and he's like, "I'm good." You know. Let's do this.
So I feel like I really do. I just believe that there's a sense of like many of us. It's yes, the Lord he's always working. When is he not working?
Sure.
But there is a sense of it's not because you're not ready. It's waiting for that exact moment when the Lord has said, "This is the moment that I'm letting you out of the ark. This is
and
that
that's
time."
the moment that even you will want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, here we go. You know, this kind of like the upper room. They weren't waiting because they weren't ready to receive the power of the Holy Spirit. They were waiting for the moment in which God was like, this is the time to receive the power of the Holy Spirit.
Well, that's very encouraging. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because it's kind of like, I think where my head was headed. Just kind of like, well, maybe we're just not ready for that yet. And it's like, well, no, it has nothing to do with that. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Boom.
So hopefully that encouraged some of you out there as well, that I just believe that there are many of us, because we're literally just waiting for the time that the Lord has already appointed beforehand.
Appointed time.
And it really is not a matter of you just haven't figured, you know, you're just not ready yet. You haven't gotten to that point, you know, or anything like that. Because it is a move of his sovereign move, and he's just like, he's already determined the day. Yeah, it's like he knows. It's very much like the second coming of Christ. It's like the Lord, the Father, he knows the time and the hour and all of that, and it's like he will let it be made known. Like, all right, go. Yeah. This is, you know, for Jesus. It's kind of crazy to think that Jesus doesn't even know.
I know.
Isn't that weird? Anyway, but so think about that though. We have Jesus on our side. He knows what it means to wait.
Yeah.
He does. And his heart is longing.
All y'all men and women out there pining for your wives and your husbands, Lord, when you gonna bring them? Jesus will be like, I got you, man. I've been waiting about 2,000 years for mine. Okay.
No, but we have a
compare
friend in
your
Jesus. Jesus is a friend.
Compare your suffering to my suffering. We can be brothers and sisters. You know? You know what I mean? It's like the Lord's been waiting on his bride for a long time. Long time.
Yeah.
But see, when he gets married, that's going to be the end of everything. So.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's like God's heart is like, he's like, I understand your pain. I understand what you go through. And so we truly have a king who understands us. We have a friend that's like, I know this on a level that honestly we don't understand. the depth to which Jesus has waited, the depth to which, just all of the suffering that he's gone through. But it's like he doesn't belittle the suffering that we go through. He's very compassionate, and he's very just like, I want to lift you up. I'm going to encourage you because I know what you're going through.
Yeah.
And so I just think that's awesome.
Very awesome.
Yeah. So
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it for real this time. You know us, addendum. So,
thank you.
But, until next time, guys, we just pray that you are blessed and that you are encouraged even through the waiting, and continue to believe for what God has put upon your heart to believe for. Continue to just go after him, look to him. And why are you laughing?
Because you're throwing on another addendum.
No, I'm just wrapping it up.
You already wrapped it up.
I'm wrapping it up and putting a bow on it.
You're wrapping up the wrap up?
I gotta tie the bow on the package.
Okay.
Because
well, then you gotta get the name tag.
After the addendum, you probably forgot what the wrapping looked like, so now I gotta put the bow on it and wrap it up.
Hey, I'm with you. I feel you.
Anyway, so continue to believe, and until next time, guys, we will see you later.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Hope you enjoy the bloopers. Bye.
Hey everybody, it's Michelle LaVore and
Devin LaVore coming at ya.
And we're so glad that you're here, and we just
wait. Are we coming at you for the 999th time?
I don't know. Are we?
I think we are.
Whoa. That's a lot of times.
Whoa. Our next video is going to be our glory video. I declare it in my name. No, I'm just kidding. What a terrible intro. But seriously, I think this is video number 999.
Yeah.
Wow, 999 coming at you. Anyway, welcome everybody. Go ahead, continue. I'm Interruptus. This is Addendum. Welcome to the Tangent. We're going to change our YouTube name to The Tangent. Oh, Lord.
I don't know. I can't.
Okay, let's do that over.
All right. From the top.
Blooper reel coming at you.
All right.
Ooh, another blooper.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
All
Let's
right.
do it.